Paranormal Karen, she's so spooky. Paranormal Karen, funny too. Paranormal Karen, she's so spooky. Oh, and did I mention she's funny too? Yeah, cha-cha-cha.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Paranormal Karen. Check out my website. There is all kinds of comedy dates. I am on the road. I know this is coming out in October, all the way through November and making a stop in November in Dayton, Ohio. I'm going to be in Shirley, Massachusetts. Is that September or October? Go to my website, check it all out. Psychic stand-up is all over the place. I'm so happy. So today, and join the Patreon. The Patreon. If you want to learn about reading tarot, if you want to come to the free nights where we all come and read for each other, sign up for the Patreon. So today is one of my favorite guests, Vaughn Braschler. Vaughn, I'm guessing, have you been on my show 5 times? You might be the all-time guest.
5 times? Gee, Karen, I'm so honored. I know how busy and popular you are, and it's an honor to be back on your show.
Well, you know, all you got to do is you have a new book out, and that's all I have to hear, and then I have to have you on. And this is a topic that I love. I haven't had anyone talking about it in a while. And the topic of your book is called Programming Your Lucid Dreams. Now, last time I talked to you, you sent me that wonderful book that was on a scroll.
Yeah. This is actually like that, but it's expanded and it's by the numbers. So even somebody like me could figure out how to do it. It's like how to put yourself into a dream mode, how to actually plan out the dream, how to launch yourself into the dream, how to come back from it, how to analyze the whole thing, step by step.
I love that. Okay, the first part, I'm actually gonna jump right in. Because I know a lot of people not even dreaming. First of all, I have been sleeping so deep that I can't wake up. And I've been remembering most of my dreams, but not really. So having a guide on how to do this is great. But a lot of people are not sleeping or having trouble falling asleep. Does this help them with that?
I think it does because it actually gives you like permission. I call it harmony with the body. It's like it gives yourself permission to rest and to let go because the body doesn't want to let go. It's like our mind, our little pocket calculator brain just keeps cranking away and says, "Oh, no, I'm in charge. Nobody can take a moment off. Nobody can rest.
Mm-hmm.
I got things to think about." And there we just, lie in the bed all night and day, and we fret about all these unresolved questions and concerns about what happens next. And it's just so much better when you program a meaningful lucid dream. I call it dream work. That's what the ancients called it, dream working.
Yes. So I actually like the wording on that right off the bat, giving the body permission to go to sleep. I get very wrapped up in I guess right before people go to sleep, we all tend to grab onto something negative or something stupid we said or something bad that happened out of our control. And we just keep running it over and over. And we even forget that is what's going on, our mind running our body. So is it a meditation? Is it just a saying?
It's like meditation. Now, I've studied meditation, and then I said, some people just have trouble meditating. I don't know why. So I've kind of shifted up here, and I kind of blend my meditation technique with self-hypnosis. I've boned up on self-hypnosis. Now, hypnosis is when you essentially surrender control of your consciousness to somebody else, and then they're making you, chirp like a bird or something. This is self-hypnosis. You're in charge. So you're actually calling the shot. This is a whole different thing. So you're programming yourself through self-hypnosis. Now, this is just like meditation, but somehow it goes down easier with people to say it this way, self-hypnosis. So, Yeah, so I mean, I use post-hypnotic suggestions as to when you launch and where you go and how you go, and this seems to work better for people, you know.
Yes. And I have to ask, did you put it on audio? Is it an audiobook?
No, I'd love to do an audio. I had somebody who's going to help me once, and then I moved, and the whole studio we set up was left behind, as they say. And here I am on an island with no equipment. But thank you. Thanks for the thought.
It sounds, first of all, it sounds like a audiobook with like yes, it just anyways, we'll get to that. The book is going to be Vaughn, the book is going to be so big that you'll buy your own studio. That's what I'm predicting, and then you can tape it.
I tell you what, if you want to record it for me, I'll narrate it, and you can keep every dime because I don't care about that. I only do this so I can talk to people, like on your show.
There was a book, and it was what the heck was the name of it? It was a big long book, and it was about manifesting and the 12 steps, and some guy in Russia wrote it, and some other guy just read it on YouTube. I don't know how he did it, and the guy from Russia was like, "Yeah, get all the information out. Can we hire you to do the next one?" So it's kind of nice when everybody's not lawyering up and publishers and stuff like that, you know?
Well, that's it. I mean, that's kind of. I'm about to switch publishers. I've had good relations with publishers, but I think it's like I don't care what the book sales are. I want to reach people and talk to people, and I think dreams are really important.
Hmm. And also you know the information will get to who it needs to.
Yes, yes. So I mean, you advertise, that you're going to do a show on this, and everyone wants to hear Karen's show, and so they'll self-select themselves into that, and and people learn in different ways. Some people like to hear about. I mean, most people like to hear about somebody describing what they've learned works for them, and I only talk about what works for me. I mean, I research what the other civilizations have done and different techniques, and I study meditation and the dream work culture. But I mean, I've experienced this, so I know it works.
Hmm. And it's great to have a formula because that's what people need. That's why people kind of lose their place. I have to tell you, it's so funny that um, last night, folks, we're taping this way. I know this is coming out in October. We're taping this way in the summer on a very strange news day. And of all days, last night, I was laughing in my dreams. And I don't ever remember laughing in my dreams. And I don't know what that's about.
Wonderful. The dream is really a peek into the soul because the dreams are all about soul work. It's your inner consciousness, your soul, your spirit, whatever you like to call it. It comes out and it explores and it learns and it does things that it is important. Really important things. Not as important as your little pocket calculator mind is like, oh, is my checkbook going to balance? It's like they didn't care about that. It's like the really big things that really trouble your soul at a deep level. Those are the things we tend to dream about.
I had a dream once that this was when I really started meditating and trying to change my life and everything. And I was at the beach and a seashell rang like a phone and I answered it and it was God, and God said, "What did you want to ask me?" And I think I asked something stupid, and then he said, "What did you really want to ask me?" And I said, "So is it fate or are we in charge of our reality?" And I said something like, "If we're in charge of our reality, I would prefer to not work as hard and watch more TV." It was something kind of like that.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
like
Give me more Gilmore Girls.
and I remembered God laughed and he laughed so loud I had to pull the seashell away. And then after he was done laughing, he said, "I tell you what, you pick." And I said,
That's it.
So
That's what life is. It's all about choices, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the really big question, isn't it? If God called you, would most people even recognize the call? And that's it. We don't listen. Nobody knows how to listen.
Yeah.
Really, part of dreaming is listening to what is important to your inner consciousness, your inner spirit. That's We need to listen to that. And sometimes it just takes charge and says, "Okay, I'm going to put you in this dreamscape, and this is the experience you're going to have, and it's going to knock your socks off." And those are the lucid dreams where you just wake up and it's like, "Oh, we're just all a tingle. It was so vivid, so real, so colorful, so important and meaningful to us." And it's because that was the dream you needed to have.
Mm, All right. So you're teaching everybody how to dream. And now, is there a trick to staying in control or in lucid? I know is the trick knowing that you're in the dream?
Yeah, yeah, you got to know you're in the dream. I looked all the way back, and if people remember when I did on your show before, I talked about the dream work of the past goes all the way back to Babylonia, goes back to ancient Greece, Aristotle, Hippocrates, they were all big dream guys. The Romans, Morpheus mysteries, all the way up to, Gilgamesh, all the way up to now when we have prophetic dreams, people dreaming what's going to happen. There is a technique to actual dream work. And the ancients knew it. They actually had dream temples. They would have dream attendants. They would help you dream in getting you just prepared for the dream, rested for the dream, and then prepping you as to what you're going to dream and where you're going to go, and then it's all very important. So I have steps, and it's like the first thing is you have to make this kind of agreement, and you do this through a very light meditation. You just introspectively just recline, and you could do this in a seated position, but lie on a sofa, and it doesn't have to be during sleep hours. It could be any time of the day. You could have a waking dream just as meaningful as during sleep time, and you need to actually make an agreement that your busy little mind, your little physical brain is going to just kind of go to rest for a while. Give it a rest,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of tune it out. It's like you don't need to be chomping at all these problems that you can't resolve. You're just going to burn out all the circuits. It's no good.
I
So
think
you just say,
we're all out of us just do that anyway. We were taught to do that.
yeah. Yeah, and we're given bad language like concentrate, focus, and it's like, no, focus is actually getting your whole body involved. And getting your whole body involved is sometimes, some parts of it have to kind of like relax. So you have to put your body to rest, you know, and I do this through self hypnosis. I think of the toes and the legs and getting heavy and dense, and they go to sleep, and then I can't feel my legs anymore. They're physically asleep, and my torso and my arms, my chest, and then I go right up to the head, and then I remind my physical brain that it's at rest. It's gonna be just fine. Just don't worry about it. And then all the way up to your ears and top of your head, and then you bring forward your inner consciousness, that part that in you that's deep inside your inner consciousness, and that comes forward. They call it the supraconsciousness or the superconsciousness. That comes forward, and then that part of you actually plans out the dream. It says, okay, here's what we're going to do. you know, we're going to have a dream, about this and where it's going to be, and what we want there, and who's going to be there, and it could be even it's a moment in the past, or it could be a moment in the future. It could be somewhere exotic, someplace far away, because your consciousness, your energized consciousness, at any time, particularly now in a dream state, your energized consciousness can take you out of body anywhere. It's not limited physically by your body lying there. So it goes, it takes off, and I think it's a very important in planning out your dream agenda, that you draw it or you paint it, with a brush. Never use words or sounds, because those are things of the mind, the physical mind, and then you begin abstractly thinking about things, and the analytical mind just wants to say, okay, and then it starts to correct your pronunciation, and then it puts the commas in here, and then it capitalizes. No. None of that makes any difference. You need a picture of where you're going to go, what you're going to do, and what outcome you want from the dream. And you could have an idea of this even before you get to this place, when you're just beginning to go into this light meditation, this introspective moment, when you reach the agreement that the physical mind is going to go to rest, and you're going to let your deeper consciousness come forward and run the dream for you.
And now, oops, sorry. I'm going to take a break because I want to take one step back to my favorite thing that you just said. So hold on, everybody. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody. After the Lori Bell episode, a bunch of you guys reached out and said, Karen, where are you getting mushrooms legally online? So I reached out to the company and I said, hey, would you guys like an ad on my podcast? And they said, hey, would you like to be an affiliate? And that was the day I learned what an affiliate was. So I am now an affiliate for mycholine.com. Folks, these are the real deal. This is not on Instagram or places where you see, hey, there's some lion's mane and you might feel better and you might not. These are real mushrooms. And they come in a liquid concentrate form with 4 great flavors. Blue raspberry is my favorite. If you are microdose curious, this is a fabulous way to give it a shot. They come with wonderful instructions. 1 to 4 squirts is microdosing or just relaxing. 5 to 8 is a little more of that party feeling. If you're out partying with people and they're all drinking, that's kind of where you want to be. And 8 and above does its thing. I am perfectly happy with 5 or 6. I haven't gone to 8, but I've read the reviews and people are very, very happy. So you want to go to mycholine.com, MyColean, and you're going to use coupon code Karen71367. All one word, all capital letters, Karen71367 for a 10% discount. Go get some mushrooms, enjoy, and send me an email and let me know how you like it. So I always love the connection between art and anything sort of metaphysical. When you say just painting abstract, is it just like painting through channeling and saying, I want to start mapping out my dream? Because I get what you were saying about words are probably very limiting.
Yes. So words are the problem. Words are very much the problem. And I've known this for a long time, having studied yoga and meditation and consciousness. And, words are bad, Just the mind is not the slayer of the mind. It needs to be a harmonious relationship of the holistic self, the whole body. When you draw a picture or paint a picture, then it becomes like all the great maps, right, of
Hmm.
buried treasure, they're all like picture maps. They don't tell you. It's not written down. And no, it doesn't go through editing process. No, it is drawn. People draw out things. People think in pictures. Animals think in pictures. We're the only ones who came up with this bizarre idea of having a language, and it
Hmm.
really gets in the way of everything. Because pretty soon the language is paramount, and we start arguing about, you know, which word is appropriate. No, you draw it out, and you will have so much better. And this goes with creative visualization too in meditation. You need to actually think in pictures, not in words, not in sounds. Tune out the sounds, tune out the words, none of that. If you're doing that, then your physical brain is still active, and you have to go back and say, okay, now remember, we're having a timeout. You're going to rest. You're going to just rest there, and we'll come get you when we're done. And you're going to be very happy to have some time out to rest and recuperate. And you get the most relaxing experiences when you dream in this fashion. When you allow yourself to really, really, consciously put yourself to sleep, body and mind. And then your deeper consciousness comes forward, and spirit then will design for you the dream. It draws it out, and it doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be a Gauguin or Rousseau. It can be just what it is. So sometimes we make these little you know, these notations to ourselves. We'll just draw a little picture quick, like on a piece of paper. That's all it is. It's just a note to self. Note to self. And then when you have it all drawn out, then you tuck it back to the back of your consciousness, and you fade to black, and you prepare yourself to leave the body with the knowledge that when you call forward that the picture you've drawn, the map you've drawn for your dream, that when it comes forward back again, bring it forward in front of you like a movie screen. When you bring it back, then that will be your cue to leave the body and go to that place. And the spirit will unerringly go exactly where you've drawn. It's in no way limited to where you want to go.
Mm.
If you want to go to the moon, you draw a picture of you on the moon, and that's what you will do. As Sybil Leek said, you go there, you're going to find the witches have been there for years. Because all you got to do is want to go there, and you will go there. Your consciousness will take you there every time.
I have to tell you, that tip right there about drawing and like it not having to, like, it doesn't have to look exactly like the moon. It's the moon. That was worth the whole podcast, Vaughn.
Thank you. If we relay nothing more to the group today, it's like start to think in pictures.
Mhm.
That's the way our animal friends all exchange information. They think in pictures and they project it one to another.
Yes. Yes. I wonder. Yes. All right. So now we've made the picture. We've blacked out. We're in the dream space. Now we know we're in the dream space, right?
Yeah. No, you're there because you have to be wary of the steps, and it's the anticipation it's like muscle memory. When you go through the steps enough times in this procedure, then you tuck away in the back of your mind, and back in your deep inner consciousness, you tuck away the map you've drawn, and then it's with the knowledge that the movie screen in front of you now it's blank. It's blank. Picture it as blank. It's black. And out of that pool something comes, and what it is you're longing. You're longing to go to this place, and so you call forward. Then the the agenda to the map you've drawn. You call it forward, say, I want it. I want to see it. And then it comes forward, and then it pops up on your inner screen in your mind's eye, and you're looking at it. You say, oh, and you're programmed. Your post hypnotic suggestion you've given yourself from the inception of this is that when it comes forward, you will automatically follow what you've drawn as a map to take you there. If you've drawn a picture of you lying on the beach in a spot that you know also well, it goes there. I mean, I always picture myself when I'm sick in any way, physically or emotionally or spiritually, just a little bit depressed. I picture myself going to my special healing place. And it's a place on a bluff overlooking the surf below at the edge of the forest. It is my special healing place. And I go there every time, and it's like, I just know how to go there. And I say, I'm going to go there tonight. It's like, and so I program that dream.
You know where I go, and this is going to sound ridiculous, but I'm not kidding, is I get submerged in pudding. And the thinking in that is I want to be somewhere weightless, and I don't want to have any distractions. And I don't know why, but it's always like I literally had to work it out in my mind. Like, you're not going to float away if it's like that consistency of pudding. So I just lay down in pudding.
Whoa.
I know.
Any particular flavor?
It's chocolate, because then it's dark.
I was going to say, it's got to be chocolate.
Yes, it would be vanilla. But it like totally, I think that that lets my mind go. Like you're in nothing, and it has to have that consistency.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, you need a place to rest and recuperate, and re-energize yourself, and let yourself do that. Let yourself go there. Spirit knows what it needs, and where you need to go. Just let it go. But better than that, just other than just let it go, which is kind of like a segue into spontaneous, unplanned lucid dreaming. Is actually planning and programming a dream, and planning to go to this special place.
Okay.
I say, I need pudding.
I know. I like that. So, and when you use this or other people use it, is it sometimes just to find out who you are, to find out how do I solve this problem? How do I really feel about this?
I always say that your inner spirit has all the important questions that you've come into this world with. And now you're just barking up the wrong tree, talking about nonsense that really doesn't, trivial stuff. The real important question is, who am I? And what should I be doing with my life? And why am I here? And what should I be doing? I mean, these are really big questions. They seem like, okay, it's kind of like everybody thinks about that. Like, no, very few people really, really honestly think about that. And these are the questions that every one of us was born to address. And your inner spirit knows that. Your inner spirit is your eternal self. Your inner spirit, knows you better than you know yourself. It knew you back when, and it knows the future, and it knows where you're supposed to go, and it knows what you need. It knows you, and it's just let it heal you, let it guide you, let it take you, let it discover what it needs to know. Who am I? Why am I here? What should I be doing with my life? I always say that every one of us could be a hero in our own lives. The arc of the hero's journey is something that every one of us could explore in lucid dreaming. That is to think of lucid dreaming as planned, programmed dream work, where you actually do accept the call to go forward into the unknown country. You do accept the call to confront supernatural obstacles and barriers and gatekeepers and overcome huge challenges that will in just just dealing with these challenges will enable you to grow and become transformed into something more than you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now the other part, so we're in the dream and we can control the dream, right? Is that what you think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can control the dream. Now you can control the dream as far as drawing a general outline, general picture of what you want to dream, where you want to dream, and what you want to learn, as best you understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be questions that you have and you can't resolve in your waking hours, and it doesn't have to be like life or death things. It could be you know puzzles in your daily life, and then when you get into the lucid dream, yes, I mean, as you said at the beginning of our hour, you were talking about actually knowing you're in the dream. In a lucid dream, unlike a common dream where you're just restlessly turning and having bad memories of bad events of the past, a lucid dream, you tend to know that you're in the dream. And so I always tell people, own it. Examine yourself, realize that you're there. Place yourself there. I'm in this dream. I'm here. I'm dreaming. First, that's important to know you're dreaming. I mean, the first time I did that, I turned to somebody in my dream. I said, we're dreaming, right? And this person said, what? And then disappeared in front of my eyes, because this person didn't realize it was there and then was no longer there, because this person woke up,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I had a weird dream about this guy talking to me. Okay, so, once you're in the dream, you can control the dream. Now, this is different from common dreaming,
Mm-hmm.
where you're chased by the tiger and the tiger is going to get you and you're powerless. And you can't move. Your feet don't move. In a lucid dream, you're in control. So it's important when you enter a dream like this. Once you're there, follow the map that you've drawn, and then you leave the body and you go to this place. Then you orient yourself. And place yourself and take ownership of the dream. I am here. And I have in the being there. Know that you don't have a physical body, but know that you have powers. And this isn't like how to defeat the tiger. This is to know that your energized consciousness has left the body with all of your subtle energy bodies with it, which means that you have conscious energy on many levels. Think of your mental body, you think of your causal body, think of your astral body, your spiritual body. You have powers. You have powers in these other realms, in these situations, so that yes, you can go to other planes of existence.
Excuse me.
Gotcha.
I have been sneezing for the past week. Yes, absolutely. I think so. Or dust. There's been an awful lot of dust up or something.
But we have powers in our dreams. We are not powerless. In a lucid dream, you are in control. Because you set up the dream. It is a realistic encounter of your conscious energy bodies having left you. And you are dealing with the situation, and you're in control.
Mm-hmm. Now, you know what? Actually, I'm going to end this a bit early and jump over to part 3, because I think I have a question that's too big for the amount of time. So hold on, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Do you love everything paranormal, supernatural, or otherwise spiritual?
Well, of course you do. You're listening to Paranormal Karen.
If you like some humor sprinkled into your morning commute or wherever you listen to your podcast, we don't judge. We've got the most fantastic paranormal podcast for you.
I'm Dana.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Megan. We'd love for you to join us at Supernormal on YouTube or wherever else you get your podcast fix.
Trust us, it's weird, it's wild, and a whole lot of fun.
I'm not weird, you're weird.
So Vaughn, when we're in those uncontrollable dreams, in nightmares, what is that always like the ego fighting back? Do you have something you categorize that as?
I think what it is that it's your memories, it comes from the emotional body, and the emotional body is playing with the mental body and your memory, your physical memory of a situation is like playing it over and over and over. You're just like you're tormenting yourself with playing it over. But this is the way we tend to try to resolve things, isn't it? I mean, analytically, most of us we just play things over our head and see if we can figure it out. Just play it back and just say, well, just play it again and see how it makes sense. Just playing it over again is just pure torture. You're not resolving anything.
Yeah.
But this is how we analytically try to resolve problems many times on a physical level, and it doesn't work.
Wow. I know. And reoccurring nightmares just means we're not putting in any effort to solve the problem.
No, it just means that we're satisfied with just beating ourselves up, and it accomplishes absolutely zero. Could I say just a little bit about dream work in relation to spirit animals and totems?
Mm-hmm. Please do.
Well, I think many people who will dream of a tiger or an animal that is chasing them or confronting them or looking at them in a dream, and you say, geez, I keep dreaming of this lion, following me. We tend to in our lives come upon other spirits that would try to work with us and help us. Most of the world lives in harmony way more than we do. And I'm talking about spirit animals, the shamanic idea of spirit animals and totems. And spirit animals is like the concept of not a particular animal, like a particular wolf would come and talk to you. But a particular wolf could come and stare at you in your everyday life, and then it might be trying to impart something, and then the spirit of wolves over that, the overlord of the spirit of wolves, not a particular wolf, will actually come to you again if you ignore the signals. If ravens continually drop feathers in front of you, if seagulls continue to swoop down and try to knock your head off, if a squirrel just keeps running at you every time you come out of your house and you ignore it, maybe you're ignoring a spirit animal that's trying to say something to you.
Well, that's funny that you say that, because I just was telling a friend, birds keep flying in front of my car, and now they're flying in front of me. So I was like, what does that mean?
This is it. This is how they work, and I've had this experience a lot. I just wrote I guess you call it a novel about having these experiences myself, and it's no joke. There are such a thing in the world that the Native Americans and other Aboriginals certainly knew about, the shamanic notion of spirit animals, where they would actually want to impart to you some information. And every animal has some information. Mine happens to be an otter, a sea otter, and it's like every time I go out in the boat, there would be a otter that would like come out in front of me, and I thought that's odd. And then I would notice that they would be eating shells in my boat when I wasn't there, and then I started dreaming about them. Now, what happens is if you ignore the spirit animal when it has something to impart to you, and this is usually a crossroads in your life when you need specific information that particular animal, by its very nature, seems to know. If you ignore all of that, they'll come to you in your dreams. And your spirit knows this. Your spirit knows this, and it will allow you to go there because it unlike the rest of us, our spirit listens. And it listens to the spirit that's calling out, and it follows it. And so sometimes you don't even have to. I guess the other thing I would like to impart today is that sometimes we don't even need to program our lucid dreams. We just let spirit decide. But you have to put yourself in a restful position and be willing to like plan out the dream. And we don't always have to set the agenda because your inner self knows where it wants to, what it needs to learn.
Yeah, it's we still have to know that we're oops. Oh, hold on, folks. It's such a funny day. Okay, I paused that, folks. The phone just hung up on us. That must be a message from the birds telling me something.
It could be. It could be. Yeah, they will call for your attention.
They will. And technical stuff has been just crazy. I mean, and not even just this year. I feel like everything is just a little bit off. So, going back one, because we were talking, actually, I want to get started on something else right now too. So now you were in the dream, you've done the dream, you want to write it down right away, correct?
No. What you want to do is when you first come back, it's very important to just recline there in a semi conscious situation, and just kind of let because what you want to do is you want to clue in your physical mind. You want to absorb the information. You take in the dream. And you take it in, and you just kind of let it wash over you. And it's okay to kind of like review it. Not with words at all or sounds, but you're just reviewing the pictures, the scenes of the dream, the actions, what you've witnessed, and then you just like let that wash over you. And then you feel like, yeah, okay, I have internalized the dream. And then it's okay to like open your eyes, wiggle your toes, and even sit up and walk around. At that point, you can begin to write it down, the outline of the dream, just the outline. Don't you don't need to like try to analyze it instantly. Just write down a capsule or an outline of the dream. And you say, I had this dream, and this is what I saw, and this is what it seemed to be, and this is who was there, and this is what it looked like, and just the bare bones, and then you can begin to analyze it. That's okay, because now you see your analytical physical mind is clued in. You've included it. See, you didn't cheat it out of anything. It's still involved, and you've internalized the dream. It's washed over you, and then you see you can record it in your memory. And then next time, if you want to return to that dream, you could return to exactly that spot or have the same dream again. Recurring dreams. because now you have a memory recording of it, and your analytical mind has accepted it and taken it in. So this is very important to think of the whole body approach to dreaming. Yes, we want to let the physical mind kind of rest for a while and let our inner consciousness come forward and take charge and take us where it needs to go. And then when we come back from the dream, we let the dream wash over us, and we absorb it completely, and we slowly expose it to our analytical mind, and we take ownership of the dream. And then we can easily return to the dream again and again. So part of dream work is like, you don't necessarily want to like just have one dream. If it's an important area of discovery to be mined, then you might want to return to that dream or continue that dream or expand on it. I have people in my dream world that I know only in my dream world, and I have a life in my dream world that I return to all of the time. And it's just as real as this conversation.
Oh, that's very interesting. So you have dream friends?
Absolutely, and I only see them in my dreams. I have on rare occasion run into these people, because they're not, I mean, they live in this world too, and but yeah, I in my continuation dreams have gone on for years. That's okay, It's a good way to discover things about yourself and deep questions to deep problems.
I love that. So now, do you do this every night? And when you do this, do you wake up feeling rested, or do you actually need sleep from your sleep work?
Absolutely rested. The benefit of this approach is that when you put your physical body and mind to sleep like this, and then you recover, and then you awaken, and then you afterwards you feel so physically rested, because you've consciously put your body and mind to rest.
Wow. Vaughn, you do so many different wonderful books. Tell everyone, how many books have you written?
I was trying to figure that the other day. Now, some I've written and they're not yet out, or they're scheduled or they're contracted. I think 20.
Wow. Okay.
But I've been doing this. I just quit my day job 20 some years ago, and I said, I think I'm just wasting my time just going and punching the time clock.
I know. Yes.
This is it. This is it. It's like, I mean, this is fun. I mean, I liked my job. I worked in a book publisher, of course, but it was fun, and I was helping people, I thought, but I said, I want to say something, and I want to talk to people. I love to talk to people that read the books. When I see somebody reading a book, I think, oh my gosh, they're opening up. It's like, it's great. It's great.
Yep. Yeah, wonderful. All right. Other than this book that you just wrote, what would be your all-time favorite book that you wrote?
It's either going to be 7 Secrets of Time Travel or Time Shifts.
Ah, that's right. We did talk about that book. I think that was the one we talked about.
Because when you begin to understand that we're not fixed in time and space the way we think we are, it's self-imposed, it's very subjective, then everything changes. And my dream book, Programming Your Dreams, it also talks about you can go anywhere forward or backward in time, and time is no barrier.
That's
So
back
dream
in
work can
time.
be.
People never think
Yeah,
about that.
I mean, it's really great, I think, to go back to when you were a child and review it. And it's like I understand things better now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just stand in the corner and watch yourself, and it's like, oh my gosh, I was just this dumb little kid. Well,
And-
you were a little kid.
And also, when you go back and do that, do you remember? Do you go, "Oh, that's not how I remembered it. It was different."
The thing is, if you're really, really doing this right, you should, in a lucid dream, be able to see the color of the wallpaper.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to notice how people are dressed. I mean, it all should be very, very detailed and colorful, and it really should be very accurate to you. We're not talking about a memory. I mean, this is something different. When a psychologist will put you on a couch and you go back in time, sometimes it borders on you're actually having an out-of-body experience, and they're actually taking you on a guided meditation. I acknowledge that, but a lot of times people are just trying to remember. It's not real accurate.
And also, I do feel like sometimes our own stories get in the way of our memories.
Yeah.
I think that's
Totally.
going back in a dream feels fascinating, that it might be like, oh, that's what that was about, or oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, being totally honest when you set up your dreams. Do you really want to be Superman in your dreams, or do you want to be yourself and figure out why you're doing what you're doing and who you are?
Yeah.
I mean, these are bigger questions.
Yeah, well, that is true. All right, my friend. Well, I think we did it again, did we not?
Oh my gosh! Thanks, Karen. You're the best.
Right, you're the best. I always get so many great comments, and people love hearing this. And this is I think people are so into dream work now, and so many, we're remembering so much more. So this is wonderful. All right, where can everybody buy your book? I know I'll have a link in the bottom, but is it Amazon?
Amazon has it. Barnes and Noble has it online and in the stores, and you can find it. And it's a Schiffer publication on Red Feather Books. So it's out there, and you can find it. And I think owning our dreams, it's so important. Our dreams can be so meaningful. I mean, they're not just entertaining. I mean, they're really impactful and meaningful on a personal level.
I love also just the idea of going into Barnes and Noble and having it in my hand.
I love going into Barnes and Noble. It is just the bomb. It's like, this is where the books are. Oh my gosh.
I am dyslexic, so I don't read a lot, but for some reason I still like being around the books. Maybe I'm absorbing them telepathically.
You just put them under your pillow and dream about them.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
Bon, thank you for stopping by. And yes.
Thank you, my dear.
You got it. And everybody, we'll see you in 2 weeks. And stay safe out there. I hope I see you at a psychic stand-up show. Go to my website, Psychic Standup, or karenrontowski.com. Either one. And we'll see y'all next week. Thanks to Mike at Uno Rising Media.
Paranormal Karen, she's a spooky kind of queen. Paranormal Karen.